Today's episode of Fitline is really special. I have a guest sitting with me in the studio that inspired a lot of you guys, thousands and even millions of people. Not only with her physique, but with her purpose. But every person that comes from a disciplined lifestyle, and that's a hardworking person and has a lot of titles, usually has a story. So let's discover it together. Entrepreneur, owner of Start Living Right, and radio host of Virgin Radio Lebanon. Maya, you have many more titles than this only. I did the research and I saw insanely amount of titles.
Mm-hmm.
So what other titles do you have?
I'm a mom of 4 kids.
Lovely.
I'm Miss Fitness Universe 2025, of which I won in Las Vegas. And I was appointed the Director of Fitness and Wellness for Miss Universe Denmark.
Beautiful. Maya, first of all, it's a privilege to have you here over at Fitline.
Thank you.
And at our studio and
Thank
at
you
Media
for having
ID.
me.
And special thanks to Mr. Naji, the General Manager of Virgin Radio, for putting us in contact
Absolutely.
of making this happen. Thank you, Naji.
Thank you, Naji.
Maya, I'm here with you today. I mean, of course, I want to really know who is actually Maya deep down inside, regardless of all the big stages you were on and all the camera showing and all of that. I really want to know who is Maya deeply, you know? So let's start with the first question, which is, Maya, for all these people that know you through social media and they have seen you on TVs and on all social media platforms, but who is actually Maya when the camera are off?
I would say I'm a very simple person. I'm very down to earth. I love being surrounded by friends and family. I love helping others. I love raising awareness about important issues. And I love to lead by example. So I don't want to be the person that's giving advice without practicing what I preach.
Mm-hmm.
For example, losing weight. I lost 20 kilos of fat and 5 sizes. So I'm not telling people how to lose weight. I'm proving that I've done it. I know how to do it. And if I did it, you can do it too. The same with anything else in my life. I like to achieve as much as I can, to inspire and to be credible as well.
Very nice. Tell me a bit more, and for the audience that might not know, a bit more about Start Living Right.
So it started as an online platform. When I was struggling to lose weight, I decided that I wanted to one day compete and go on stage. And once I became a healthy weight, the next step was to get into shape for a competition.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I started doing bodybuilding. Many people think bodybuilding is like a woman with muscles on stage. But what I did was bikini fitness, so
Mm-hmm.
kind of like fitness modeling. And I wanted to show that women can lift weights, lift heavy weights, and still keep their femininity. So
wow,
exactly.
That's what you just said right now, and keep their femininity.
Exactly.
This is the key word that you just said.
Yes, this is the message. So what I did is, while I was preparing for my competition, I was sharing my story online on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I would share pictures, recipes of my diet, my workouts. And I had a private Facebook account, and all my friends on there were like asking questions, really interested. Some of them were copying my workouts, following my diet. So then I had this idea, why not make a website where I can really share my passion? And the purpose of the website was just to help. It wasn't really to try and sell anything.
Right.
And I thought that's how I can be credible, because I'm not being endorsed to say anything. I'm just sharing my story, sharing what's true and what's not. So I created a website that was called startlivinglight.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it was composed of 4 main pages: nutrition, weightlifting, cardio, and motivation, which I believe are the aspects to any fitness journey. It starts
100%.
with motivation. Next, you need to follow a good diet, and then you need to do a combination of weightlifting and cardio. And this is the recipe for success, whether anyone wants to gain weight, lose weight, or simply maintain their weight and be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So after the success of my website, I was getting 8,000 hits a month when I started it without any advertising or anything. It started doing well. It kind of went viral. And then the next step was to create a mobile application. So basically an app, a smaller version of the website, which had more features, including exercise programs with animation, calorie counter, so you can enter any type of food and see how many calories are included. We had all kinds of new tools in this app. And then the app was endorsed by the Lebanese Minister of Sports. And for like 1 year straight, it was ranked as the #1 app in the Apple Store, competing with international apps. So it was the #1 fitness app in Lebanon.
Wow.
For a long period of time on the Apple Store, competing with other apps like MyFitnessPal and I don't know what.
We're talking about competing with international apps, not even local.
No, not local. With international apps, it was downloaded so much that it was ranked as #1 by the Apple Store.
Beautiful.
And then the next step was to have a business. So I was working as a journalist for 2 years, which I loved to do. But then I felt that I wanted to have my own business. So the next step was to quit my job and open a gym. And I was thinking of a name. What should I call the gym? And then I said, well, I already have this online presence. And why not combine the online brand with a physical location?
Yes.
And this way I could also attract the followers that I have online in Lebanon to come and join the gym, which actually was a huge boost when we opened, because I just sent an email to all my subscribers. We had thousands of subscribers. And we announced that we opened a physical location of the gym. And many people came, signed up, registered. And this is really how the brand started online as a hobby and a passion. And then it became a business with the same mission of helping and not trying to sell anything other than real results that will change lives.
Beautiful story.
Thank you.
Beautiful story. And I really got inspired with that story in particular.
Thank you.
Now speaking, you were mentioning a couple of things to actually have your dream physique. And the first point was, Maya, motivation.
Motivation, yes.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Maya, for all the people that is watching and listening, especially women, I want them to know through you as Maya, whenever you want to go train, but your body is telling you, I'm quitting, I'm tired today, I don't want to train. How do you train your mind, Maya, to actually force yourself and tell your body, no, I'm not going to make you shut down. I'm going to push even further. I want all women to know how do you act in that case?
Well, this is actually the biggest problem not only women face, but even men too.
Exactly.
Anyone that's starting out struggles to stay committed. And most people actually quit after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. What I would say to these people is they need to have an emotional attachment to their fitness journey. So it's not just about, I want to look good, but you have to really dig in deep. What is that reason for you to be at the gym? Maybe you want to improve your health and be around, in the long run to watch your grandchildren grow up. Yeah. Maybe you want to grow old independently. Maybe you have a health problem. You have diabetes or something and you want to get rid of all your health problems. Maybe you're just miserable with the way you look. And it's not just about looking good in a picture, but about changing your whole life and never feeling self-conscious anymore. Because that's how I started. I was slightly overweight. I wasn't majorly overweight, but I was slightly overweight. And I felt that I hit rock bottom. And my reason for starting my fitness journey was to never feel the way that I felt, was to never try on a pair of jeans that don't fit me or go out and feel like I don't look good. So that was my purpose. That was my mission. And on the days that I didn't feel like it, I thought back to the reason why I started. And this is what gave me that incentive that it is worth it. And feeling tired is normal. If I'm really exhausted, I can take a day off. Or if I'm sick, I need to rest.
Of course.
But no matter what, I need to continue. And I always say 80% of success is showing up. So it doesn't matter if your mind is not motivated. As long as you show up and you do the work, you will still see the results. And people should expect motivation to go away. So when you start,
Yes.
you're super motivated, you're super excited. But after
Then
a while,
suddenly-
it's not linear. It's going to go
Exactly.
down. You're going to
Right.
start feeling that you're no longer motivated.
Right.
And this is where you have to be ready for this. And you have to kind of do it anyway. And in the beginning, it's a struggle, but then it becomes a habit. If it's part of your lifestyle, it's just like when you wake up, you brush your teeth, you get dressed, you go to work, the gym becomes part of your routine. So instead of seeing it as something that you have to do, it's just something that you do, and you plan everything else around your gym session. So for example, socializing with friends, happy hour, whatever, you have to do it after your workout, because exercising is an investment in yourself,
Yes.
in your health, in your physical and mental health. And it's one of the most important investments you can ever make.
Yes.
And if people truly understand that, then it will keep them going, even on the days when they feel like they're not in the mood or they don't want to.
For all the women out there who really look at the mirror and they feel that they're shy of themselves,
Yeah.
and they feel that they are insecure of their body, and they feel that they're not being looked at, and like usually through their friends, or they're being bullied because of their physical appearance. What would you tell these women in particular?
I would say that nobody should ever feel ashamed of the way they look. Beauty comes in all shapes and forms. And if anyone bullies you or makes fun of you for the way you look, it says more about that person than it does about you.
There you go.
And that truly kind people and truly beautiful people will never judge someone or make fun of someone because they're overweight or they look different. And this is a very important message that we try to send in the gym. We try to show that we're a community and everyone is welcome, no matter what your age is, no matter what your background is, no matter where you come from, your religion. You know, we welcome everyone, and we're a community of support and, you know, positive vibes. And if anyone doesn't meet that criteria, like if someone, you know, is racist towards someone, if someone says a comment, or if anyone doesn't fit with our positive vibe of accepting everyone and welcoming everyone, then we reserve the right to refund their membership. And we have actually done that.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Maya, have you ever been bullied?
Have I ever been bullied? That's a good question. Maybe I've been bullied on social media.
Okay.
From people who are different than me, or people who don't approve of swimsuit competitions, bikini competitions. Yes, I would say online I have been bullied.
Okay.
But with time, you learn not to care, because these people are not people that I identify with, and they're not people that I care about anyway. I always say that if you're going to be criticized and you want to know if you should listen to the criticism, you have to look at who is criticizing you. If it's like my mother or my father or a role model or someone who's achieved everything in their life, then I would see it as constructive criticism and I would listen to them.
Okay.
But if it's someone who I don't care about, someone who I don't aspire to be like, someone I don't respect, or someone who hasn't achieved any of their goals in their life and they're telling me what to do or criticizing me, then I take it with a pinch of salt and I just ignore. Because if they are very relevant, then I will listen to them. But if they're irrelevant, then they're just somebody who's talking just to talk. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people like this.
Yes, too many people that are like this these days.
Yes.
And as you said that maybe they're not maybe on your level, or maybe the way that they criticize you, they're only trying maybe to bring you down.
Yes,
more than
true.
to put you, because they see you succeeding.
Exactly.
So therefore, there's gonna be haters that will criticize just to criticize.
Yeah.
You know, with no logic and nonsense.
Many people are intimidated by success. They don't like to see someone doing better than them.
Of course.
Because it reminds them that they're not doing well themselves. But I never let myself be intimidated by someone who's more successful. My approach is to be inspired. So if this person is achieving so much more than me, how can I learn from them? What are they doing different? And I always relate back to my competitions. My very first fitness competition. I didn't win anything. I didn't even come in the top 5. And
I was about to ask you the
exactly.
question. I was exactly about to ask you regarding that first competition.
So I didn't win, but instead of feeling defeated, I looked at the winner and I said, what did she do differently from me? And even when I shared the picture of us on stage and the winner was receiving her trophy, there were many people that were criticizing her, that were posting comments saying, how did they choose her? She's so muscular, she's so manly. And I went and I deleted the comments because I didn't want to look like I'm a hater, or I posted the picture because I want people to come and criticize her.
Okay.
Instead, I just said, okay, she's more muscular than me. But what did she do differently? What was her stage presence like? What was her posing like? Maybe she had more confidence. Maybe she did something different. And I looked at how I could learn from her. And 1 year later, I came back to a tougher competition. There were like 30 contestants, and I ended up winning first place against all odds. I didn't think I was going to place. I was really surprised when they called my name. But it's because I went away with this attitude of, I'm not angry, I'm not spiteful that I didn't win. It's okay, you know, I did my best and that's good enough for me. And now I'm going to take time, I'm going to learn from the winner who did better than me and the other top 3 winners, top 2 winners, because there's top 3. And I'm going to see what they all did different. What did they bring to the stage that I didn't? And how can I learn from them? So sometimes when you see someone successful as a chance to learn and be inspired, then you become more successful too. And I say success is not limited to one person.
Maya, you saw that successful winner where you lost, right?
Yes.
And what happened when you did your other the competition where you actually won?
Yeah.
Right? Tell me about that experience a bit more, Maya, when you competed in Fitness Miss Universe in Las Vegas. How was the emotions on the stage? Who were you looking in the crowd? Who were you looking to mostly?
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe any of your family members were watching you, any of your friends. I want to know a bit more about that experience. And I want the people to know also, how was Las Vegas?
Well, so before I did the competition in Las Vegas, I did fitness modeling for many years in the United Kingdom. I won 9 trophies, 9 titles. And the competition I told you about when I won the first place, that was actually before I had kids. So it was 1 year after I started in 2013. And the competition in Vegas was kind of like a comeback after having 4 kids. I wanted to get myself back into shape. I wanted to show that age is just a number and the number of kids you have is just a number. And I wanted to get back into shape, more or less close to how I used to be before kids. And I wanted to be back on stage because I feel like competitions are addictive. They make me a better person. I learn about discipline, sacrifice, confidence, networking. It's such a wonderful experience.
Beautiful.
And I went there not knowing what to expect. And I went there with a positive attitude, as I've always done with competitions, you know, going to meet people, going to have fun, going to network. And it's such a beautiful thing to be with people like you who have for the last few months been on a diet, been training, not been drinking alcohol, because they know what it's like and they've been, living the same life that you have.
Yeah, it's tough.
Some people don't understand and don't relate. And it was far. It was all the way in Las Vegas. So I had to travel, I had to connect. And it was a kind of a long trip, but it was worth every second because I learned a lot. I met women from all over the world, different countries. And I came home with a title and a crown. And, it was kind of like a stamp of credibility for me that I'm not just talking about competitions that I did 10 years ago before I had kids, but that I still have what it takes if I want to get back there. I want to get back into shape. And I still don't think I brought my best self to stage. I still think that I can do even better physically.
More? Okay.
Absolutely. I can learn more. I can work harder. I mean, it was a good comeback after having 4 kids. And this time I took 2 years to lose the pregnancy weight after my 4th. Whereas before I lost the weight within 9 months to a year. But this time I took 2 years because it was my last child. And I also struggled this time with my mental health after having my child. During my pregnancy and after birth, I had postpartum depression. And this is why I also took time to really get myself ready and, be on a strict diet and strict training schedule. So, but it was a wonderful experience.
Lovely.
And whether I won or not,
It's an experience.
I still had a wonderful time. I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I was in one of the best cities in the world, if not the best city in the world.
100%.
And I made so many new friends from different countries. If I ever visit these countries, I have people I can call, people I can visit. So it was really, really something nice.
Lovely, Maya. Now, speaking of kids,
Yeah.
if you close your eyes for a second and you visualize your kids, just if you close your eyes and you visualize your kids right now, what image will you see?
What image? I see happiness and fulfillment because your kids fill you in a way that nobody else can. And I was saying to my friends last night who don't have kids that you don't know what unconditional love is until you have a child. Because your child is someone that you would do anything in the world for. You would give your arm or your leg or your kidney for your child. And your child is someone that you worry more about than you worry about yourself. They're a piece of your heart. And wherever they go, they take your heart with them.
100%.
And you're always thinking about them, always wanting them to be happy, to be safe, to be comfortable. And I think it's a tough job to be a parent, whether you're a mother or a father. But I think it's one of the best jobs in the world because it's fulfilling and you're raising the future generation. So I'm raising my kids to be kind, to be respectful, to respect everyone, to be humble, to add value to the world.
Yes,
and this
that's
is where
important.
you can really spread kindness and make a difference in how you raise your children.
Beautiful. Maya, if you go back a bit to the past, before Maya became who she is today, right? What was maybe one moment or one pain that you actually felt between you and yourself that pushed you to say, that's what I'm going to be?
I think maybe my biggest struggle was with my weight because before I started my diet and training, I never really went to the gym. I didn't care about a healthy lifestyle. It had nothing to do with fitness. I was into journalism and I studied sociology and anthropology, and I had a minor in communications. And I always wanted to work in journalism. And I did end up working for 2 years in journalism. But I didn't really discover my passion for fitness until I struggled myself. And because I struggled and because I knew how hard it was to get into, a healthy lifestyle, eating well, replacing bad food with good food, waking up, going to the gym, this is where I really found myself and found my calling in life because I didn't really love fitness until I was in my mid-20s. Many people know what they want to do when they're 18. They go to college, they study, and they start working. I was kind of discovering myself, what I want to do. And it wasn't until I lost weight and I saw the results and I felt the difference in who I was as a person that I knew that my purpose was healthy lifestyle and fitness and spreading this passion with other people.
What do you define for the people that really are like sometimes depressed? What do you define depression? How do you define it?
Depression is a disease.
Okay.
It's a mental illness. It's a disease like heart disease or like diabetes or cancer. It is a disease of the mind. And I think many people underestimate what depression is. And I think the word is used too lightly, like, oh, I had a bad day, I'm depressed. Because people who really have depression are really struggling and it's really dangerous. If you don't treat depression, it can worsen, it can lead to psychosis, it can lead to suicide. And that's why I think depression is something really serious and people need to take care of someone who has depression. And people who identify or recognize that they have depression need to seek professional help. However, depression is treatable, just like any other disease. Once you start professional help, you will get better. And then you will change as a person.
How was your experience with depression?
Hell on earth. Hell on earth. Because my whole life, other than having stress, I never struggled with my mental health. But when I had depression, it started during my last trimester of pregnancy. And then I had it after I gave birth. It lasted about 4 months, which isn't very long compared to what some people go through.
What were the emotions that you were feeling during it?
It was like I didn't even have emotions. I was numb. I couldn't feel like the love I felt for my family. It was gone. Happiness, joy is completely gone. All you feel is numb. You feel guilty. You feel worthless, useless. You feel like the world would be a better place without you if you didn't exist. You have no motivation and pain. It's extremely painful. It's constant pain 24/7. Whether whether it's at night, during the day, even when you're surrounded by loved ones, or even when you do things you used to love doing, you just have this pain inside you and you feel helpless. You feel like you're never going to get better and there's no way out and you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. That's why it's so painful and so dreadful, because when I was in it, I didn't ever think I was going to come out of it. And I got worse over a period of time.
Weren't you able to seek help during that time?
I was. So it started during my pregnancy. And I was doing therapy. However, I couldn't take medication because I was pregnant.
Okay.
And although the therapy helped a little bit, my scale of depression was so high that I was in the category of someone who needed medicine to get better. And even though I was doing everything I should do, I was eating well, I was going to the gym, exercising, surrounding myself with positive people, but I was really getting worse because I had so much anxiety, and also I had insomnia. And the insomnia, the lack of sleep, was what caused my anxiety to get worse. And anxiety and depression come together. They complement each other. So if you have anxiety, eventually it will lead to depression. And if you have depression, you're going to have anxiety. So it started with insomnia, which led to anxiety, which led on to a full-on depression. That was something really hard to get out of. But because I was proactive and because I said, I don't want to feel this way, I don't know who I am anymore, and I don't want to be in this place, I said, I need to get professional help. And I wasn't ashamed either. So if anyone does have a mental health condition, if anyone feels anxious or has panic attacks or feels like they're reaching a level of depression, you shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't be shy. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not your fault either. It doesn't mean that you're a weak person or you're a failure. It's something normal that we all go through. It's a disease of the mind. And it could be also hormonal imbalances, which is what also causes, mental health disorders. Just seek professional help. You don't need to advertise it to the world, but confide in someone, a best friend, a sister, brother, your parents, whoever you can, confide in someone and go seek treatment. Start with therapy. That's the first line treatment of depression. And if that doesn't work, don't be afraid to take medication. I want to stress, medication is not addictive. Medication is not bad for you. When you take medication under the supervision of a doctor, it will save your life. And this is what happened to me.
A lot of people think it's taboo,
Exactly.
No, why should I take medicine? I
don't need it. I don't want to.
It might affect me on the long run.
No.
Or why should I go seek therapy? So a lot of people think it's taboo.
Or they think it's for someone who's crazy or someone who has major problems. Like one of my friends had depression and she said, I don't have a lot of problems in life. There are people who lost their homes, lost their jobs, and they don't go to a therapist. So why should I?
Right.
So I want to stress that you could have everything in the world at your fingertips. You could have a good job, many friends, success, but depression does not discriminate against anyone. So for example, Robin Williams, he was a world famous actor. He had fans all over the world. He had family, and he committed suicide from depression. You don't need to be someone who's struggling or lost a lot of things in your life to qualify for treatment.
Right.
Anyone from anywhere in the world, from any background, can suffer with depression and is just as eligible as anyone else to have the same treatment, medication, therapy, healthy lifestyle, exercise, good diet. it doesn't mean that you need to have a lot of problems or a lot of issues in your life to actually have depression.
Maya, I really love the way you were speaking about depression.
Thank you.
Because you really made me think differently now.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Maya, do you believe that a person that falls in love with someone and maybe something happens and they're not together anymore, do you believe in second love?
Of course.
Do you believe that a person can fall in love again?
Absolutely. Always, forever and always, you can fall in love again. And I know this because before my husband, I had been in previous relationships, and there were a few or a couple that ended badly, and you feel that you will never find someone who's the same, or you will never have that same connection, and you always do, you know? So definitely if someone is going through heartbreak or someone feels that they're never going to love again, of course you will.
Right.
Definitely you will. And love can happen at any age.
Exactly.
So you don't need to be in your
searching
20s
for it, or maybe searching for it too.
Yeah, you could be in your 60s or your 70s and meet your soulmate and fall in love and get married. There's no age limit. And as long as you believe in yourself, take care of yourself, and do what you need to do to move forward from a past relationship, then you will definitely find love again. But you need to be ready to find love. You need to take care of yourself. You need to look for a relationship to enhance your life.
Yes.
Not to fill your life.
Yeah.
Because many people feel like they're empty and they're looking for a partner to give them a purpose in life. But you need to have a purpose independent of your partner. You need to have hobbies, friends, a job you love doing, things you work on, and then your partner enhances your life and makes your life better. But not that you're empty unless you have a partner. You need to be happy as a single person, as an independent person. And then when you find a partner, that person will enrich your life and that person will respect you more, because your partner respects you more when they know they can lose you. Exactly. And they know that you are your own person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really, you touched me with what you said at the end, because a lot of people think that if they don't really know the value of that person.
Exactly.
Sometimes they think that love is something maybe temporary, then it fades away with time, But when you said that at the end, that the person, when he feels that he can actually lose you, this is where it actually triggers
exactly.
No.
I had a friend of mine whose boyfriend used to cheat on her all the time. And she used to take him back. And I told her, stop taking him back. He's doing it because he knows that you're always going to be there on the side, that he can mistreat you, he can lie, he can cheat, he can talk down on you, and you're going to take it. But the day you put your foot down and you walk away, that's the day he's going to respect you and he's going to stop mistreating you. And sometimes, sadly, you have to walk away, because if someone mistreats you and I do believe in giving someone a chance to, change or, improve the relationship. But if someone has repeatedly hurt you and done you wrong, most likely that person's going to continue doing that. And you need to walk away, and you need to find a partner that will respect you and give you what you deserve. When you know your value, you won't settle for anything less than what you deserve. And that's why I stressed on having a fulfilling life, knowing your worth, doing things for yourself, having your own friends, not depending on, your partner to give you a social life. You need to be independent of your partner.
Right.
And that's when you have the most successful relationships. That's when you have the least number of divorces or breakups, when you are your own person and you are independent of your partner.
100%. See, Maya, why did I ask you this question about love? Previously, we were talking about depression.
Yes.
Right? A lot of people these days, due maybe to economic factors or maybe due to maybe just personal factors, when they break up or when they just maybe get divorced, a lot of individuals usually get depressed through this phase.
Yeah, that's true.
So they really say, oh no, I really lost someone that generally could be the love of my life.
Yeah.
So this is why I wanted to ask you this question to relate it to depression.
I want to just stress that breaking up with someone can also be labeled as grief.
Of course.
It's like if someone dies. And there's a difference between grief and depression. Grief is intense sadness, but it's not depression. Even though you're sad, you can still function. You can still live your life. You can still have moments where you find happiness and joy. When you are depressed, it's a disease and you have no joy whatsoever, and you have different symptoms than someone who has grief. So it's important to distinguish between the two. Do I have depression or am I just grieving? And you need to perhaps see a psychologist or do a test online to test yourself and see what symptoms you have and see if you're a candidate of depression or if you're just going through grief, and maybe you can still work on yourself and do therapy if you're grieving. But in this case, you would not need any medication.
Maya, how did you meet your husband?
We met.
I really want to know the story.
Yeah. So we met actually through work.
Okay.
I was working as a journalist for Time Out Beirut. And I went with my colleague to interview my husband and his brother for our magazine.
Okay.
So my husband has his own company, real estate company, together with his brother, they're partners. And we went for the interview. We met professionally. And then 8 months later, we were at the same party. And we met in a social setting. It wasn't a professional environment.
Right.
And that's when we were like, oh, yeah, hey, I remember you. And we started talking. And ever since then, we got together.
Beautiful. Maya, how do you define a home?
Home is where you are happy. You could be happy anywhere. You could live in a tent with someone you love or with your family, and you could be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maya, you have lived in many places. You've lived in Nigeria, England, London. Have you been in London too?
Yes.
Right? And now presently in Lebanon.
Yes.
Maya, so you have been introduced to many cultures, right? So how did your identity got fixed to a point? Because I mean, meeting a lot of different cultures, right? So how did you build that identity of yours through living in different parts of the world?
Well, interestingly, I have 4 passports. I was born in the States. My mom is from Holland. My father is Lebanese. And my grandmother was born and raised in Ghana. And I also lived in Nigeria. So I think what's nice about being exposed to different cultures is that you can learn from each one of them. And this makes you more of someone who's aware of different things, and you start to respect different cultures instead of being, intimidated, or instead of judging someone who's different from you. You kind of understand them and you respect them and you appreciate them. And I think diversity is extremely important because it's nice to mix with people from different parts of the world, different religions, different backgrounds. And I think that being multicultural makes you compassionate, makes you kinder. And what I love about having different cultures is that I feel I can get along with anyone. I can sit with, Lebanese or Europeans, Africans, Indians. I can sit with people of any culture, of any religion, and we can have things to talk about. We can get along. I'm never intimidated by someone who's different from me, but rather I embrace it. And I think that, diversity is a beautiful thing if we can have it, part of our lives.
Beautiful. If I tell you the word, or 2 words actually, Virgin Radio. What's one word you would describe Virgin Radio in 1 word? And you may definitely elaborate on that word.
How about 3 words?
3 words? Go ahead.
My happy place.
My happy place. It's 3 words. I was counting them.
So,
what a community.
I love Virgin Radio Lebanon. I have my show on Virgin Stars, a daily morning show. It's first of all, the people there are absolutely wonderful. Naji is a great general manager. He's, kind. He lets us, choose our own content for the show, of course, with international guidelines. And we're able to pick our own guests, choose, what we want to talk about on the show. And the people are amazing. And I'm actually privileged to have this show because I've hosted so many different guests from, celebrities, ambassadors, to doctors, entrepreneurs, CEOs, survivors, people that have incredible stories.
Wow.
Yeah, just the other day, I hosted a victim of human trafficking. She's a survivor of human trafficking, and she was sold, and and she escaped. Like I've hosted so many different people.
So what do you usually talk about? Is it mostly testimonials or different topics? Like, what are the topics that you guys talk about in your show?
So every day we discuss a different subject, and each day has a different theme. So we cover motivation, nutrition, fitness, wellness, mental health, and fun as well, and events.
Beautiful.
So for motivation, I look for people that have a motivating story, whether it's someone who started their own business, or a survivor like a breast cancer survivor, or someone who accomplished something that no one imagined they could do. And then nutrition, we talk about everything related to healthy food. Fitness, we talk about workouts, exercise, health. And what I love the most is mental health. We talk a lot. I have a psychiatrist who comes every week, and I work with a lot of psychologists. I also work weekly with a wellness consultant at AUBMC. And we talk about taboo subjects like mental health, depression, things that people are afraid to talk about. And what I want to do is I want to break the stereotype that you cannot talk about your mental health.
Right.
I want to normalize it. And I want people who feel alone to kind of understand their condition more and feel that they're actually not so alone because it's something normal. And then on Fridays, we talk about weekend fun. So I have guests that are hosting events, actors that are acting in a play or in a movie. So it's not just about serious topics. We also do have fun topics. Like if you're on the way to work and you're wondering what to do on the weekend, I have a weekly segment with Randa Farah. She's the founder of Lebtivity.com, which lists all events happening. She comes on every week.
Shout out to Randa.
Shout out to Randa and Lebtivity. She comes and she mentions, her picks of the week, like different things you can do, things you can discover, including hikes, plays, shows, concerts, workshops, things that are out of the box. So it's also nice to be able to help people, for example, support local businesses, have new customers, support local events, have, more people attend, or help businesses have more customers. So we're not only raising awareness about important topics, we're also supporting the guests and their businesses as well.
What's your favorite moment at Virgin Radio? Do you have any specific moment that was really special to you?
Yes, I think when I hosted Chris de Burgh. Do you know Chris de Burgh? He sang Lady in Red. It's a timeless classic. You know the song Lady in Red?
Yes. I recall.
Exactly.
I recall. Okay.
I can't sing
It's
to
okay.
save my life. But
maybe this could be a new talent. You never know.
Exactly. But I remember I hosted him. And I was super nervous because this was like a year after I started on the show. And I didn't know, if I'd make a mistake. And, I really admire him. I love his music. I'm a huge fan. And I wanted to make sure that the interview would go really well.
So you were nervous?
I was super nervous.
Okay.
Usually I'm not, but with Chris de Burgh, I was extremely nervous. But he was such a kind man. He was so humble, so friendly, that after 2 minutes, I suddenly felt so calm. I felt like I was talking to an old friend.
Wow.
And the interview went really well.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
Oh, thank you. He was such a nice, humble person. I mean, usually when you see international celebrities, you imagine that maybe, they're not easy to talk to, or they're a bit arrogant. You're not sure what to expect.
Right.
But Chris de Burgh was just an amazing person.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Maya, right now, I have introduced the game to the podcast. I usually present it to every guest and explain to him or her about the game. So it's called the Fitline game.
Yeah.
You basically, each one of us, you're going to pull out a card from the deck and read the question.
Okay.
And you have to answer yourself on that question. So this game is basically a self-reflection type of game where you can play it with your friends, your family, or even you can play it by yourself.
Oh,
because
nice.
some things you don't really know that these questions exist until you actually realize like, oh no, they actually do.
Yeah, true.
Right? So you're ready to play the game?
Yeah,
I'm going to play with you, by the way.
All right.
Also, we're going to both play.
Cool.
So please do the honors.
I choose any card?
Any card you want.
All right. Let's go for it. When did you finally feel free, even for just a moment? Oh, that's a good one.
This is the start of the game.
When did I think it was after my depression. It was one specific morning where I got out of bed and I walked to the bathroom and I no longer had this heavy pain in my chest. It was gone.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I feel good today. That's weird. I'm sure that feeling of dread and, complete sadness is going to come back. And then I went about my day. I went to AVC, I had lunch.
Lovely.
And the whole day I felt good. I didn't feel horrible. I didn't feel trapped. And that's when I knew I'm okay. I got out of my depression.
Wow.
I got this.
Wow. So this was the exact day where you got out of it?
I remember everything about that day.
Beautiful. You ready for my question?
Yes.
If you could erase one moment from your life, would you actually do it? Why or why not?
Interesting.
Yeah. I would definitely erase a moment in my life
Mm-hmm.
where I didn't really believe in maybe... I used to be ignorant towards my parents, right? They used to give me advices and I don't really used to listen to these advices. And every time I don't listen to these advices, things go wrong. So there isn't any specific moment, but every moment I have told my mom or my dad, no, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I would
You think
really
you know better.
Exactly. I would really want to erase this situation out of my life because of you guys, I am the person I am today. And I thank them very much.
That's amazing to have amazing parents.
100%.
Yeah.
Your turn, Maya.
I'll put this here.
Yeah.
What's a lesson you learned the hard way? What is a lesson I learned the hard way?
Mhm.
Wow, these are very deep questions.
Yeah.
I would say,
you really think a bit about the
yeah,
answer.
it makes you think. I think a lesson I learned the hard way is I need to think before speaking. Because in the past, I've spoken out of anger and I've lost people because of it.
Okay.
If I'm having a fight with someone, I don't pause and take a deep breath or sleep on it. I just lash out. I'm impulsive and I react. And I think what I've learned is that when you're really angry with someone, sometimes you need to maybe take space or you need to give it 1 or 2 days before you confront that person. And when you're calm and you're reasonable, then you should talk to that person. Never have a conversation in anger.
Never.
Yeah.
Do you think people have hard times controlling their emotions these days?
I do, yeah. I do.
Mhm.
I think that sometimes when we talk to someone, we're emotional and we can say hurtful things that we might regret or that could even harm the relationship.
Right.
So we need to be careful with what we say.
Exactly. What's something... Oh, you're going to like this one.
Yeah.
What's something you wish people understood about your pain?
Mm.
I mean, the main thing that I wanted them to understand, where maybe I passed through a painful time during my life. I also went through depression.
Oh.
It was around like 2 years ago,
Mhm.
where I felt I was alone and nobody understood me, and I
Sorry
wasn't
to
being
hear.
loved. It's okay. And all of the negative emotions that we just described in our episode previously. But if I want them to understand one thing, it's that through my pain, you really need to sense that you're not alone. Right?
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that can actually give out the hand and help you.
Yeah.
So you're not alone. And because there's a lot of people who's committing suicide because of
Yes.
that. So for all these people out there, you're not alone. I promise you. If you just ask for help and bring your hand out towards anybody, or especially your parents, I guess they will help you.
Yeah.
Right?
If you need help, ask for it.
Ask for it.
Don't assume people are going to come help you if you don't ask. And talking about suicide, the second leading cause of death for men in the United States is suicide. And the first leading cause of death for pregnant women is suicide, not
Wow.
health problems. Yeah.
Guys, I told you this episode was going to be a special one. We're at the end of our episode. Guys, Maya Nassar was a star
Thank
with us
you.
today. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it because this is really special. And I hope there's a lot of valuable information was said throughout this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as usual, I will see you in the next one. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you so much.